唉，比咗之前呢啲記招咧，一定係攞包薯片，切下蘋果都好啊。但係而家咁夜唔食得嘢，不能進食。我係未換新 check 啊嘛，等我一陣啊。喂，留到言嘅講下嘢啊，喂，唔該 ，check 下得唔得？仲有7分鐘，等佢7分鐘。喂，你有冇巴？唔知喎，真係唔知佢有咩講喎。據有傳聞係話 Smart TV 裝 app 啊嘛，裝呢個XBox 嘅 apps 啊嘛，咁之後就可以用 Cloud 嚟玩 XBox，就唔使俾錢買啊！黐線！做乜 Q 啊？冇返你哋。唉，快啲啦，睇埋幾個瞓覺。如果有嘢就寫稿，冇嘢就瞓。聽朝早啲起身工作。你好，唐滿翼。都係睇記招最開心，我哋。嗰日邊個我話 Diablo 4有唔知咩封測申請㗎？邊個我哋？我問咗報數話未有嘅喎，一定係 fit 鳩我嘅喎，你哋。我校細聲咗啦。 你肚餓啊屌！今日係第二日晚餐嘅時候唔食飯，淨係食咗2個西蘭花。我琴日都唔可以算唔食飯，因為琴日有啲隔夜剩咗嘅 carbonara， 跟住食埋佢。食個杯麵食屎啊你！好肥啊，想減肥啊，真係想減肥。成日俾人串啊，而家日日都俾人串到好撚肥，見親啲 friend 就俾人串好撚肥。無巴睇直播應該戴耳機啦，而家咁夜。算唔算生酮啊？其實我而家最算嘅係16168咯，我最算嘅係生酮都唔係話好，即係唔係話好嗰啲叫咩？唔係叫好在意咯我自己，因為我中午係冇戒澱粉質噶。我中午而家係照食嘅，因為我出街翻工噶嘛，咁我戒唔到噶嘛。我冇理由煮翻工咁樣太辛苦啦，我搞唔掂。咁但係夜晚我翻屋企可以自己煮嘛，咁咪去百佳買2個西蘭花，然後翻嚟煮咯。咁搞都唔係好耐嘅，搞一搞都係個零鐘啫，差唔多。咁所以其實主要係168多過生酮，但係佢哋話盡量都夜晚戒澱粉質咯。咁可能聽晚鋸扒咯，買塊扒翻嚟煎咯。咁可以噶嘛，可以食肉噶嘛，唔好落油就得噶啦嘛，係嘛？好似係唔落油，咁煎扒都唔一定要落油嘅啫，係咪？咁咪一日食扒，一日西蘭花，咁幾開心啊！唔好要汁啫，咁唔要汁就 OK 嘅。我不嬲食牛扒都唔係好使點汁。希望減到啦，呢次已經話咗減好多次都減唔到。我而家係75 kg 咯，已經重咗啲噶啦，之前70啫。Diablo 4官網有預先登錄，登住先咯，你哋。而家食雞髀正啊！唉，人生就係咁樣嘅啦，人生就係咁。但係塊扒本身唔係都有油，食脂肪好似係冇問題噶嘛。我唔知啊，好似係咁樣樣咋。我認識嘅嗰啲減肥方法，我上網見係咁樣樣咋。但係有啲肚餓嘅，今日係有少少肚餓嘅。好，下播睇佢1個鐘頭瞓覺，應該都係90分鐘內嘅啫，我估應該都唔使好耐嘅。好彩我哋冇睇 Capcom 啫，今朝 Capcom 真係好悶，勁少嘢睇 Capcom。
Hey, we are a small snippet of Squanch Games, and we are here to tell you how excited we are to be a part of the Microsoft Games Show Extended.
Game Showcase Extended.
Game Showcase Extended. What's the need for the extended? Why add that extra word?
It's
is there one that's not extended?
點啊？
And that's why?
We're getting nods. There is a not extended one. Okay.
And that one's just called without the extended.
So that's just called
There's the normal one. I know what this is.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, we're
一
happy
出嚟
to
講
be
廢話，
part of it nonetheless.
講埋啲 bullshit。Xbox 界面同手掣一直都屌打 PS， 但係香港始終個個玩 PS， 所以有啲人焗買。冇噶啦，冇焗買呢回事噶啦，而家。Game Show Xbox Game Showcase Extend 嗱，唔知 extend 啲乜嘢啊？第一隻。可唔可以大聲翻少少個 game 聲啊？我想問，嗰個電腦聲。先播翻呢一個嚟緊一年啊 ，Xbox GamePass 有啲咩玩？咁呢個就我哋前日就已經望過啦，前晚嘅直播就已經睇咗啦。Diablo 4啦 ，Sea of Thieves 啦，呢一個瘟疫啦，最新嘅惡龍啦。跟住仲有好多唔同嘅舊 game 嘅 DLC 啦，永劫無間都幾出眾嘅。Starfield 啦，飛定係飛啊？飛 Simulator 係飛 Simulator 嘅 DLC 啦。好似好勁啊！
Welcome to Xbox Game Showcase Extended. I'm Aaron, this is Malik, and we have the honor of diving deeper into some of the most exciting and talked about announcements, as well as gameplay from the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase just 2 days ago. For the first time ever, the entire showcase was focused on games you can play over the next 12 months.
That's right, Aaron. You saw world
12 months
gameplay from Redfall and Starfield, and today we've got Bethesda's own Pete Hines right here to tell us more. You'll hear from the renowned developers behind the brand new Xbox franchise, Our History Untold. Dive into Naraka Bladepoint with our partners at NetEase Games, and so much more.
But first, we begin with a special look at how our fans got to celebrate the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase with a message from our very own Phil Spencer.
好想去啊！
I love coming to events like this. You can just feel the energy, people loving to come together as a community, their love of video games, the Xbox fans. Just a really special time for everybody, myself included.
好想去 Game Show 啊！
Whether it's saving the world from the aliens or winning a football game, it's so great.
佢個字幕詞嘅唔睇。
I love hearing from people. What did you like in the show? Those conversations with people that are here about areas that they like and areas they wish we would do more, I think that's something that drives us. You saw it in the show today. People said, we want to see more gameplay. And so we said, okay, great. You're going to see a ton of gameplay.
Yeah, I think this is our biggest lineup ever in terms of just diversity of different kinds of games from different kinds of teams, different genres.
There's some franchises, Japanese franchises, don't always come to Xbox. We've been working on that. Today we obviously had Persona.
It's important to us. We not only have all the games coming from our internal studios, but also great independent game developers that we work with around the world. So could not be more excited for what we're doing with Kojima.
And he's got this really great idea for a game. And I want to be clear, because I know we say like experience and stuff. He's building a video game, but he has this real unique things that he wants to do in the game. And he said, okay, let's go do something together. And I'm just really proud to be in an industry that can be part of so many people coming together.
好啦，有嘢睇啦。唔識嗰個 studio 咩嚟㗎？做咩㗎？哦，呢係咪 Ark 2啊？好似又唔係喎，我以為係 Ark 2添，但係又好似係喎。係咯，嗰個要 show 過啦，Ark 2啊嘛，呢隻係唔係啊？哦，嗰隻維京唔知乜鬼啊？呢樣嘢嗰日已經講咗一次喎，但我記得。好自然 ，Pay with GamePass， 瘋狂講呢個嘢。
Opened the showcase with a dramatic gameplay demo for Redfall and closed it with Todd Howard showing us how deep the rabbit hole goes on Starfield. And we also got a sneak peek at upcoming expansions for Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76. Here to break it all down for us is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Pete Hines from Bethesda. Pete, how are you?
I'm great. Good to see you.
喂，今日換咁多嘅。
Ago, you all announced some delays for both Redfall and Starfield, so I wanted to give you a chance to tell us a little bit about the decision making.
做唔到嘢喎，今日。
Look, with all the time that goes into a game,
你好啊，夜
it
郎。
would be foolish to rush it out the door before it's ready. I think we have continued to sort of examine how we think about games and making sure that they are going to meet our players' expectations. Obviously, the last 2 years have really challenged us from a development standpoint.
呢隻係 Redfall 啊，係嘛？呢隻
now largely remotely, while a lot of our folks are not back in the office, and that has an impact. I also think we've been thinking about things like release dates and when do we give those out, and how do we make sure we give one out that we actually hit and don't have to change later. So. It's not something we undertake lightly, but at the end of the day, I think what our fans expect, what Xbox fans, what Bethesda fans expect, is a high-quality game, and we want to do everything we can to give our teams the time to fully realize the games they're making.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's all about, right? Like delivering.
你叫佢攞兩條友坐喺度，你就知今日應該好廢。
Speaking of games, we're just going to jump into it. We're going to start with how the showcase started with
Sounds good.
Redfall. Now, before we even get into the game, Arcane's making the game, and I want you to talk a little bit about the pedigree of Arcane, just in case people don't know.
Sure.
These folks over there, they're doing their thing.
Arcane Studios is known for really amazing, immersive sims. They do any number of things. If you play games of theirs, Dishonored 2, Prey, there's a lot of common threads you'll find in them. They create really amazing, believable worlds. I think that's a big part of their game is when you're in Dunwall or you're up on a space station in Prey. That it feels believable. There's a reason why things are the way they are. They're also a big believers in systems-based as opposed to scripted. So they really embrace player freedom and sort of giving players the tools to decide. You figure out how you want to complete this mission or get through this area. We're not going to tell you how. We're just going to give you tools and then give you the freedom to go and do. But there's great characters and interesting story. They bring a lot of different elements.
老任唔知幾時做咧，但係其實上即係幾日前嗰個 XBox 係好睇嘅，真係好睇嘅。幾日前嗰個 XBox 係呢個真係搞唔掂咯呢個。
How similar or dissimilar would you say this game Redfall is from the other?
I mean, look, on the surface, it's a first-person shooter that you can play solo or with up to 4 players, and so immediately you might say, well, it's not a single-player game, so it must be wildly different. And don't get me wrong, there's absolutely ways in which it is different, but I think when folks play the game, and
俾少少容忍佢啦，佢該咁勁。佢今日可能真係想逐隻跟住講深入啲。咁又唔想睇喎，除非佢講卧龍咯，卧龍我會想睇多少少嘅。
I think all of those things we talked about. If you want to play a game by yourself and get a great Arcane story, you can absolutely do that in Redfall. But you can also do things that you haven't been able to do in an Arcane game, like experience it with friends and find out sort of how the whole can become greater than the sum of the parts, like playing it off of each character's abilities. You saw some of that in the demo that we showed. I think the more that people appreciate that, you almost are going to want to try and play Redfall a couple of different ways. You might want to play it by yourself a little bit, play it with others, and it's a game that allows you to do either or both of those things, however you see fit.
I'm glad you talked about playing with friends because I'm taking applications for friends to help me get through Redfall.
Can I put my name on that list? I'm down to.
佢哋兩個自己吹水真係關佢撚事咩？
We need to go
你可唔可以做你個朋友同你一齊玩 Redfall 啊
Let's talk a little bit more about the game. Now, between the trailer that we saw last year at the reveal as well as this one that we just saw, I feel like Redfall reminded players of other co-op shooters like Left 4 Dead, for example. What makes Redfall unique?
Again, it's one of those things like if you watch just like combat footage, you might look at Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood or any of these things and go, oh, I see multiple characters facing a bunch of enemies and so it's the same game. But I think that would be doing a disservice, that it's all of the things that take place in between the combat as well as the combat itself, sort of combining different skills and abilities in the way that you do, Layla.
屌你，我唔使俾你話俾我知點樣 combine 啲技能啊，冚家鏟。
used to get up top on a roof and provide cover. You have different characters who play roles really well, how you choose to use Brebone, the robot, all of those things come into, again, allowing the players not to say, here's a set of rules and you can only use, no, here's just some stuff.
我驚佢講惡龍咋，我想睇惡龍啊，因為
sort of experience and explore for yourself, and you come back the next day and it'll look and feel like a different experience, even though you're in the exact same part of the game. I mean, I think those are the kinds of things that Arcane does that really bring that sort of extra special element that makes their game so compelling.
Yeah, compelling and fresh. So I'm excited for Redfall, and you said it here for everyone to see that we're going to be playing together. So I'm going to hold you to that.
Absolutely.
You got the proof. All right.
Can't wait.
Oh, awesome. So let's talk about Elder Scrolls Online. Now, I wanted to talk about the team philosophy because I hear that the team is actually banned from saying things like, now is the perfect time to play.
My least favorite saying is there's never been a better time to play a game. We all say that. Yes, games always get better. We know that. The thing that we love about where Elder Scrolls Online is going is their ability to continually refresh the experience for players, provide new experiences, like going to High Isle, a place they've never been in an Elder Scrolls game. It does a lot of things like story and intrigue. There's a lot of politics in High Isle, different factions and the conflict that's going on there. And again, a way that you can jump in and play by yourself and experience it by yourself, even though it's an MMO. But the real special sauce of Elder Scrolls Online is our amazing community. They're so welcoming. They're so helpful. If you need a little bit of help, if you need a lot of help, they're there for you to help explain.
Make sure
you have a fun experience. And honestly, that is such a huge part for an online game of creating an environment where anybody, no matter whether you just started playing or you've been playing for 8 years, can have a good experience no matter how you decide to engage with it.
I love that you mentioned that. Community is as you mentioned, is such a huge part of any online game. And so for players who may not have played Elder Scrolls, who are, like you said, looking to jump in, to know that they have that community backing them, that's going to help them guide them in their journey is super exciting. But I want to talk about Fallout a little bit.
Okay.
Huge milestone.
我唔聽課歐啊！我唔知喎，啲出有冇屌鳩佢哋啊？
This has to mean something super special to the team.
Absolutely. And look, we are.
屌你老味！你哋嗰日先做嗰啲咁好嘅嘢，而家又柒咗佢做乜嘢啊 ？XBox
And our intent is not just to pay homage to Bethesda Fallout. No, we mean all Fallout.
因為咪唔可以贏到最尾嘅啫，
Us as players
真係
went and played those games, played the original
恨
Fallout,
鐵不成鋼啊！屌嗱
and then
味
what
真
the
係。
franchise has become and sort of growing and finding an even a new audience with Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 76 is something we really.
佢搞幾耐啊？你估佢呢個？等我諗下先。
And honestly, what's going on in
唔知
Fallout
佢會幾耐咧？呢個
and your ability to continue to push the boundaries in an online game of story and meaningful player choice, and as you're going along, making decisions that kind of matter and have a real
真係恨
impact,
鐵唔撚成鋼。
is important in the evolution of Fallout 76. And just honestly, how far that game has come from its launch. We're keenly aware of how that launch went, but we are also keenly aware of the incredible
一啖砂糖一
amount
啖
of
屎
effort and dedication
唔係啊！佢頭先
all of
喂
the
佢
teams
即
across
我哋唔聽佢講嘢，佢廢話，因為佢講
We
廢
believe in
話
this。thing, and
即係佢頭先一開始嘅時候咧，其實先有講過噶嘛，就係話佢聽到好多玩家嘅聲音，即係 CEO 出嚟講嘢頭先，唔知大家有冇聽到啦？ 英文聽到嘅我 OK 嘅少少。佢就係話我聽到大家好多嘅聲音啊，就係想喺個記招入邊睇到啲唔同嘅 gameplay 啊，所以今次個記招我哋 show 咗好多 gameplay 出嚟咁樣。咁你都知係咁樣樣，你傾乜鳩啊，大佬？預出係製作人訪問，冇話咩恨鐵不成鋼。唔係啊，我真係覺得佢會有新嘢㗎，因為即係你 extend 都唔緊要，你做 extend 你講深入製作人都 OK， 咁你咪俾多啲新嘅 trailer、新嘅畫面去講咯。你剪接嚟㗎嘛，大佬，你呢個唔係 live 嚟㗎嘛，仆街唔通嗰人坐喺度咩？擺到明就係剪接啦，係咪啊？咁嗰啲佢講嘅嘢，你咪掉啲新嘅畫面出嚟咯。即係如果唔係咁，你有咩意義先得㗎？咁樣做讀俾記者聽咩？記者幫你寫咩？又唔撚會嘅。寫稿新寫出嚟咩？又唔撚會嘅。啲 gamer 好中意聽咩？又係唔撚會嘅。即係呢啲叫咩 ？What kind of game you play? What kind of experience you want？ 呢啲即係大世界自由度好高，屌你老味！你唔講我都知啦，係咪先？唔通你唔講我會唔識咩？會唔知咩？當我弱智咩？Now it's time for you to tell the story of Starfield, which is your story, which is going to be different than mine, which is going to be different than everybody else's. 你睇下呢啲，呢個係你嘅故事嚟嘅，同我個可能唔一樣嘅。Speaking about the scope of everything, Todd said what an epic RPG is. What does Bethesda define an epic RPG as? I think 真係仆你個街。Look, there's a lot of folks who take a lot of different approaches on what does an open world mean, and Bethesda Game Studios always pushes themselves to the most freedom and least limitations, right? Where the items in the world are all real things. You walk into a store and there's a bunch of weapons or whatever. Like that's not just art on a countertop. Like you could pick those up. You could steal them and run out of it. You can create chaos. Like we don't want to put too many limits on what the player is or isn't. 大家咪準備好瞓覺啦。嗱，我哋嘅觀看人數咧係同呢個直播會嘅質素成正比嘅，所以我哋係偷緊佢啲片。係啦，嗱，你同小島傾個新 project 係做啲乜嘢？即係起碼我都會知係新嘢啊嘛，因為冇做過。你呢啲畫面呢堆全部都係嗰日出咗噶咯喎。我決定俾多可能一隻或者兩隻嘅機會佢。即係可能去到搭半，如果佢仲係咁樣嘅話，同佢講 say goodbye 啦，再見 XBox。我本來都想，唔係喎，屌 test 嘅 ，XBox 而家爸爸嚟嘅，算唔屌佢，唔撚屌佢。I love XBox，GamePass 好嘢。We're going to set you loose and just sit back and watch the beauty that you create with your own stories and the way that you solve problems or choose. 星期五我哋玩忍者龜喎，如果有興趣玩，朋友一齊玩可以6人連線，我記住我哋可以。GamePass 免費啊！10蚊雞，10蚊雞，一齊玩忍者龜。星期五。No, I didn't see that. Where did you see it? And having them go out and find it. So I think that's going to be one of those things. We talk about that a lot. That sort of water cooler moment. Like you come in the next day and you talk to everybody about what you did, and you were like, wait, I did that quest, but I did this completely different thing, and you sort of start to appreciate all of the choices that you could have made. You didn't PC Game Pass 有啊，應該有啊，應該有啊。Think about doing that, like, oh yeah, I just ran in and 我未諗到玩 PC 版定 Xbox 版，未諗到。Like, you can do that, like, go ahead. 睇情況。Like that, I think that is a special part of a Bethesda Game Studios game, and when we say epic RPG, we mean all of the stories, all of them. All right, you just gave me some ideas for stealing people's ships, so I appreciate that. That's going to be top on the list to do in Starfield. Now, we saw quite a bit of combat and action in the game. That seems to also be, in addition to exploring and everything, that seems to be another huge focus of the game. Absolutely. I mean, you know, look,
if you look at a game like Skyrim, which like
PC 靚咁多，忍者龜啫喎，阿葉。同埋如果我畫面計啊，我部機嘅畫面計啊，我應該 Xbox 係靚過 PC 嘅。我部 Xbox Series X 嚟噶嘛，我部。
live another life in another world this way, then combat.
我電腦嗰張1060嚟嘅啫嘛。
In an epic RPG, there's always bad people. They, shooting at you. Sometimes you got to return fire, and there's a lot of fun to be had there. And so, providing a lot of different skills that sort of determine how good you are in combat, combined with all the different weapons in the game, and then you layer in ship combat and all of these other things.
係啊，1060嚟嘅咋，冇錢換啊。
Just how broad or how deep the rabbit hole goes.
It's going to be so impressive. And you touched on it a little bit, and I want to talk about it because this was when I'm watching the video, the demo, what I saw, and it really caught my eye is around the ship. It's not just getting in the ship.
最先做低真係 game 鋪 ，game 鋪真係有少少唔係呢一個 generation 產物嘅啦，其實少少咯。 即係而家我都諗唔明，即係如果你問我話印隻碟出嚟嘅意義係乜嘢，其實我都真係唔係好知。我都開始想賣晒我啲 game 佢。
good at, what trade-offs are you willing to make or not? And then the other part of it is, of course, well, you can't just, it's a spaceship. Those aren't cheap. So you have to figure out, how am I going to do this? Where do I get the resources to build this stuff? What kind of, skills do I need?
我諗唯一個意義就係，就算 PlayStation 個 PSN 執咗，你都仲有 game 玩咯。你有翻實體嘅話，唯一意義係咁。
You get to decide that, how much you want to put into that or not. Do you just want to give somebody money for the parts that you want? Do you want to build it? All of those things are sort of part of the fun of deciding how much do you want to interact with this and how do you want to interact with it.
Absolutely. I mean, just as you mentioned, the scope, the level of player agency, something that I feel like is going to just make Starfield such a special experience. So between Redfall, ESO, Fallout 76, and Starfield, you all are just killing the game.
Yeah, we got a few games coming out.
It's going to be so great. Pete, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, Pete. Now coming up,
直播主好多3090，我竟然1060，冇錢啊嘛，我窮啊嘛。
Entertainment, playground games, and of course, Xbox fans like you.
你哋又唔課金支持下，又唔幫我 share， 又唔 like， 又唔訂閱。誒，講永劫無間都好，都可以望下。
大家好，我是永劫无间制作人关磊。We are glad to share Naraka。
喂，我要聽普通話得㗎啦，我唔使你譯俾我啊！屌你老母！
As a NetEase studio, 24 Entertainment is joining hands with Microsoft to bring Naraka Bladepoint to consoles for the first time. You could play the game on Xbox Series X and S, as well as Windows next week. We're also joining XBox GamePass, a platform with a huge player base and a vast, bright future. Naraka has been so well received on the PC platform.
呢隻我都會真係想睇下 Xbox 係點咩質素嘅，23號啊嘛話呢隻係。
As a competitive survival game incorporating a lot of action elements, Naraka features a range of characters with unique personalities. Each hero draws from different civilizations and cultures.
唔知會唔會好靚咧？如果 Xbox 玩，我仲可以開最靚喎！你諗下喎，我 Xbox Series S 玩，佢仲要 cosplay 房，咁我可以攞翻電腦啊嘛。
Perhaps you'll engage your foes in samurai combat, katanas at the ready, or maybe you'll use Persian assassin techniques and strike from afar. With your grappling hook, you can fly between temple walls and across bamboo forests with ease.
不過呢個而家又做緊嗱，即係我覺得起碼係咁樣樣，你先叫好啲嘅記招咯。你而家佢都係真係講緊永劫無間係咩嚟噶嘛？你有班人真係唔識噶嘛，唔知啊嘛。咁但係頭先嗰啲係唔撚使噶嘛，屌你老味，擺到明又應付老細啦嗰啲。
Transform your katana strikes and make your cannon a weapon of mass destruction. Each hero can be customized too. Whether you want to rush into battle as a berserker warrior or cast fireballs as a sorcerer, the choice is yours. We can't forget to mention our unique face customization system too. You'll never need to worry about running into a doppelganger on the battlefield.
哇，有得整樣啦而家！
To edit your hero's features to your heart's content.
哇！
You can
而家可以
even
整啊
create your favorite faces. As we approach Naraka's first launch anniversary, we're introducing a brand new weapon, the Twin Blades, releasing together with the Xbox and GamePass editions. Twin Blades strike with the speed of a raging.
哇，雙刀喎，新武器喎。
We've seen similar weapons in other games, but here in Naraka, it comes with a style all its own. Charging up strikes is usually a high-risk, high-reward move.
哇，好似好好玩喎，雙刀，幫我頂10秒喎。
You keep your momentum as you unleash a
嗱，呢啲咪好記招咯。
Since its release, Naraka Bladepoint has launched its own faction clash game mode with
哇，多咗好多嘢喎，而家好似
thrilling limited time mode Shadow Surge. There have
醒晒個人。
been casual modes to play as well, but our community has eagerly asked for a campaign mode. We're always listening to our player base, and we're happy to announce that the wait is over. Players will see the first chapter of our campaign mode.
哦，仲要打古仔毛喎。
Take on new enemy types and massive bosses.
哦，我以為啲咩嚟添嗰陣時睇呢個係。
Disarming another player though. PvP and campaign mode are two entirely different games.
好似好好玩
Others
喎
are，also in the works.
可以唔使打人喎，唔使俾人虐殺喎，屌！
Any feedback you have for us. We are also working on an Xbox One version and hope to see more players join Naraka later this year. Naraka is launching on
我哋嗰陣
Xbox
時
Series
嗰陣時
and Windows
係咪
Store
豬米啊
on June 23rd.
我嘅永劫無間老師係咪豬米啊？唔記得咗添。
Now
豬米喺邊啊？
to dive into the world of Naraka.
豬米喺邊啊？豬米
快来体验我生无拘吧！
23號呢個 OK， 呢個 OK， 下個禮拜呢個 OK， 呢個 OK， 唔錯唔錯唔錯，多啲嘢講。
History is filled with moments.
屌呢隻琴日講咗都係又播片。
Some well known, some lost to time. But what about the history that could have been?
廁所位呢個
If you were its architect, how would you reshape the world? What new stories would you tell? And when your people speak, would you listen? How would you lead them in this new world? History is filled with moments of greatness, but these will be yours.
I'm excited to welcome our friends from Oxide Games for a closer look at their historical grand strategy game for PC called Ara History Untold. Dan, Michelle, thank you two for joining us today.
你如果真係唯一驚嘅話係，即係你想睇嘅原因係因為你驚佢 Kojima 會上嚟講嘢，同埋你驚你驚光榮會講嘢。其實呢兩個係最驚嘅。
History fan. I love me some history, so I've been looking forward to talking to you two about this. Now, we all know this is not your first strategy game, but the vision behind Ara is so ambitious. So tell us more about it, and also for those who are new to Oxide Games, we would love to hear more about the studio as well.
So Oxide Games was founded 9.5 years ago in my basement, actually, from the development leads of Civilization V. And our goal is to push strategy games to the next level.
And what's really great about working on a new IP is that you don't have kind of these previous expectations that a sequel would have. And so the sky really was the limit, and we got to really take the genre to a new space. And we really hope that not only will fans of strategy games like this, but people who've never played a strategy game before will find something they love as well.
You're absolutely taking it to the next level. I think I saw like a drone was in like the 18th century or something like that. It's very, very fascinating. And I think that like, if you're someone who really enjoys history, it's bringing like all the worlds together, all the periods of time together. And that's a grand vision in itself. So how does the vision of Ara impact the player experience within the game?
So one of the
Yeah,
kind of
佢
things we
個
wanted to
廁所
do with Aura was
啫。
really explore how to make the game less about finding that optimal strategy, that optimal path,
我
and
哋
really
唔好
create ways
唔
to
好
make it
唔
more
好
meaningful
樣
to
貌
the
歧
player,
視
make it
人
unique
啊！
to themselves.
呢個
So
風
what
氣
are
唔
different
好，
kinds of choices
唔
we can
良
bring to
好
the。player so that when you play is different than when I play, and yet we can both be competitive together? How can we do things to really impact agency
俾埋呢隻
and
game 嘅機會佢
expression,
啦，好唔
really
好我
let
哋
you express your values
可能
and
下
your
一隻
play styles
Diablo
through
我
different
會講。
mechanics in the product.
我記得嗰陣
Dan, what about
時
you? How does the Envision
即係
impact
嗰
the
個
overall
嗰日
experience?
嘅
So
記
one
招
of
係
the
喺
big things that
Diablo
we've been working on is what we call the living world. We wanted the
唉
expression of the
真係
game
慘
to manifest itself in a way that felt authentic and cool. So we've spent a lot of effort on making sure that the choices that you make are expressed
呢個係新畫面嚟講，我記得
and so
呢個
you're
係新
going
畫
to
面嚟
see
講。
your
如果冇記
citizens
錯，
doing things
都有啲嘢睇啊
that。reflect the choices that you've made. And this is actually really challenging. So one of the goals when we founded Oxide was to not have to tell the designers, no, you can't do that thing. And so the game is obviously huge. It's just massive. And so it was a very large technological constraint from doing something like that. But we have our own proprietary engine that
我理
allows
解啊，
us
我
to
明啊
really，
大家都有
bring
眼瞓。
this alternate Earth to life.
I think that's the
翻
beauty,
譯
right?
啊，
Because
我
in
冇認真
history,
聽
the great
喎
thing。about learning history is that you learn about culture, you learn about stories, you learn about things that are probably brand new to your eyes. But the way that Aura helps you remix, reimagine, and rewrite history is a beautiful sight to see. And I'm excited to get my hands on it, and I'm sure everyone else is who's watching. So let us know, where can we learn more about it, and when can we get our hands on it? Because I need it today.
So if you head over to the website, you can sign up for the Insider Program, which will
哦
give
叫
you
你
a
去
chance to
website
join
入
the
邊咧
technical
就可以
alpha
join 到
and
啦，
play
佢
the
就
game
會話
later
俾你
this
知
summer.
幾時可以有呢一個
Super exciting,
early
because
access
we've
啦，
been
應該
playing,
係
all the time, and so now you have a chance to play.
哦，你有機會可以同佢一齊嘗試去試下呢隻 game 啦。
Down on
多謝你啊！
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
好似係歷史教育 game 嚟嘅呢隻，好似係佢聽佢講嘅
Access
先
and
話。
moving into full release with a highly anticipated story mode. Here's Adam Brennicke and Eric Dorabella from Obsidian Entertainment to tell us more.
嚇 U 比仲衰唔係啩？咁撚大鑊！哦，呢就係嗰隻蟲仔小人世界。
Players expect from the 1.0 launch of Grounded.
The big one, of course, is going to be a
差唔多
complete
差唔多
game
卧龍啊
and
卧龍啊
story,
卧龍啊
right? You know, from beginning to end, you can play through. You know, why are you here?
其實呢隻我都有想玩嘅呢隻少少。
And how are you going to get home? And I think those are like the big
GamePass
questions
免費啊嘛呢
that
隻。
people are asking about Grounded.
你睇一陣 U 比咩情況啊？
We
係咪好惡劣？冇喎，Ubisoft 嘅記招唔會惡劣嘅喎，電影嚟㗎嘛。
That's a very unusual idea, but I think there's something there.
Trailer 公司嚟嘅喎。
One of the things that we did early on was establish the art style of Grounded. Things started like coming to life.
呢隻我都可能到時想玩，睇下大家 join 唔 join 一齊玩咯。
And like seeing some of the cool things like
係啊，誒呢啲 game 所有 XBox 嘅 game 都可以 join 埋一齊玩嘅，因為 GamePass 只係要10蚊啫。又要幫 XBox 買下廣告先，只需10塊錢，你就可以加入我嘅團隊啦。
The team is very small. It's the smallest team I've ever worked on at Obsidian. I wanted everyone to be able to participate on the design side of things. So I said everyone is a designer on the team. And I think that extends into our community and how we're building the game in game preview and early access.
That's probably one of the big successes of the game is
隻蜘蛛好難打。
we work with the community and take all their feedback and suggestions. I think it's super rad.
For a game developer too.
啱啱係 Assassin's Creed 15週年，咁如果你好中意嘅，咪可能會中意睇咯。咁講到明啦，人哋講到明 Assassin's Creed 嘅15週年就算啦。
Just make a much better game at the end of the day.
我會想試下呢隻，會想試。下一隻講 Flight Simulator 啊，屌！
And now we can play through the story. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of you know things that I think players aren't going to expect. And I
think I know what you're talking about. I cannot wait
真係睇唔睇好咧
players' reactions.
大家覺得佢會講卧龍嘅機會有幾高咧？
Story to be finished and finally
你哋覺得佢會講卧龍同埋 Diablo 4嘅機會有幾高咧？
For more content. I think it's just going to pull a lot of people back in and gain a lot of new players.
到時應該冇10蚊啦啩？嚇10蚊3個月喎，而家點會冇啊？
Last year was like our first big boss, and then we came out with a bunch of mini bosses like Termite Kings.
永劫無間第一日就可以有搣面，點解我冇嘅？
We're showing players the Mantis. What can they expect from this?
So we're super.
我玩嘅時候冇嘅，點解？
The Mantis, and I know that's been a a big ask from players that they want to see a praying mantis in the game.
They've been asking for this for a long
yeah.
time. Do we have anything else that the players can get excited about?
You know, the mantis is just a little tease of one of the new boss fights, but there's more to come, right? Like potentially many boss fights that we have planned for the full release.
咁 Diablo 都唔係佢自己嘢啦，如果你咁講，係咪
other
先
things to uncover.
When we reached 5 million players, that was already super crazy. And then we hit the next milestone of 10 million players still being Xbox.
Doubling it, right?
Yeah, in Xbox Game Preview Early Access.
That just goes to show that we have a fantastic game. Everyone's just so surprised at like how much ground it has grown.
I just hope that players and the community understand how important they are and impactful on this game with us.
You know, we're so thankful for everyone's support along the way. It's been an amazing journey, and we're finally almost at the finish line, right?
Yeah.
And I think we wouldn't be here without our amazing community and all of the fan support.
I agree.
暗黑破壞神出手機同埋 PC 版，你覺得啲人都係暫時偏向手機版多啲，都係等出暗黑4。嗰隻手機版好似20幾號嘛係嘛？上翻係好似都係23號嘅，都係下個禮拜嘅。上其他國家出嘅咯喎應該。
So I'm in this helicopter, we're flying to this location, we're on our way, let's go.
光榮獨佔 Xbox 應該唔係嗰隻，應該係 Day One Game Pass 啫，應該唔係 exclusive 嘅。
York! Hey, Paris, good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming to DC, man. No, thank you. What am I doing here? Later. Let's get in. We don't have much time. Oh, okay.
All right, Paris, right across the Potomac, that's where our contact is.
Are we headed towards Arlington?
It's still secret. I'm sorry.
York, what is this place?
Oh, you'll see. Let's go.
只係認 PC 同埋 console 嘅 Diablo 先叫 Diablo。我應該都會玩嘅，但係23號嗰陣時。
Look at this place. Nick, how's it going?
Hello.
Paris, I would like to introduce.
如果電腦 mon 淨係得 2K 係咪入 XS 都得？係啊，你都推唔到 4K 㗎啦。總之 XS 嘅機能係大約 X 嘅渣1/3咯，大約。
Here we are at the National
係咩？
Aerospace Museum.
獨佔咩 console 咩？
Talk about that collaboration. Tell me more.
卧龍應該唔係 exclusive 㗎係
I've
嘛
been talking for more than a year. He was looking for me, and it turns out I was looking for him to ask the same question, which was, don't you think that our organizations have a lot in common, dedicated to bringing flight to everyone? And
I was looking for the Spirit of St. Louis, which is in the Smithsonian ever since 1928.
咁撚勁
And
咩
the Smithsonian was gracious enough to give us a
？Exclusive
millimeter perfect scan, which is what we'll feature in the 40th anniversary edition. But as Nick and I kept talking, it was very clear, you know, the world's foremost museum for air and space, the Smithsonian. Yeah. And Microsoft celebrating its 40th anniversary. It's a match made in heaven, and there's lots of things we can do.
yeah, authenticity, accuracy, access, it's all there. We're hoping that if everyone has as much fun in the community with the content that we initially collaborated on, a couple of our most historic aircraft, and some of the other aircraft in this center are already in the simulator, maybe we can jump in with both feet and do more in the years to come. Maybe even, who knows, we'll go crazy. We'll put the space shuttle in there.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
All right, you guys have never been here before,
No,
right?
this is my first time.
All right, so keep your eyes peeled, stick together, and Jorg, I've got something special for you right around here.
Perfect. Check this out. This is my favorite plane, the Junkers Ju-52 3-motor. Amazing.
呢度都 OK 嘅，呢條都 OK 嘅，睇下飛機。
Look at all these planes around.
呢條都幾開心嘅。
Are you going to put all of them in flight sim?
Maybe not all of them, but we hope a lot of them.
有冇人係好迷飛機嘅？
40th anniversary that comes out this fall. We already have 3. We have the Wright Flyer, the Spirit of St. Louis, and the DC-3. And we hope to get a few more. As Nick and I were talking, there's a lot of things we could do.
Yeah, we started with the most iconic ones, and who knows? There's no lack of opportunity.
You know, I keep saying amazing because this place is amazing. And just like Flight Sim, it just keeps going.
國家地理雜誌咁。
It does seem like we're going supersonic, like the Concorde here. We've been doing a major update ever since we launched every month since August 2020. And just today, we're actually launching World Update 10. And guess what? Tell me.
佢預計發售啫，佢咁你一定係唔講㗎啦，即係 Xbox 自己唔會講㗎喎，佢會 cut 鳩埋你個 logo 喎，一定係。你除非喺光榮個網嗰條 trailer 都 cut 咗個 logo， 你就真係冇 PS 啦。但係應該係有嘅。
That's also launching today, and it's a great coincidence.
It's actually a huge coincidence. Jorg's been working on that Beechcraft since before we met, but it's a great example of how much we already had in common.
So Jorg, what can we expect the rest of the year from Flight Sim?
We have a ton of great things coming up. So today is World Update 10. We have 2 more World Updates, one in August and one in October. And then in November, we have the big 40th anniversary edition, which will be an absolute.
如果中意輝先明，應該中意睇呢條片嘅，有3個大更新喎，仲有。
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so we're celebrating by bringing back some of the planes from the old Sims, like from Flight Sim 10, 9, 8.
而家 X 係行入去就訂得定係又要訂又要成啊？好似係冇現貨嘅喎 ，X 好似 S 就有 ，X 好似係間中有咯，都係，好似咋，答你唔到。
Also adding brand new things on top of it, like that the community really wanted. For example, helicopters. My Sober wrote a brand new fluid dynamic system to make all that.
我不嬲都唔係好中意飛機，即係我中意搭飛機，但係我覺得我唔知我玩飛機 game 我感受唔到嗰個分別啊。即嗰個操作咧，我唔係好識感受嗰啲嘢。
Brand new partner called Builds, a great development team. In fact, of the 10 planes we're bringing, most of them are created in collaboration with third parties. So it's a really cool way for us to integrate with the creator community.
Now, how do I get this?
If you're on GamePass, if you already own Flight Sim, the 40.
唔該蝦仔揾咗出嚟喎，有 PS4 啊，有 PlayStation 啊，只不過 GamePass 係第一日有啫嘛。
Everything that's coming to Flight Simulator. I mean, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming to DC, Paris. Thank you, Nick, for the great collaboration with the Smithsonian and for kicking off the 40th anniversary edition of Flight Sim. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
National Air and Space Museum.
Today was a good day, but now I have a need for speed. I'm headed to the danger zone, baby.
哦，呢個係咩啊 ？Top Gun Extension 喎。
Aquí para disfrutar del mejor día de mi vida, el día de la Xbox, que estoy muy emocionado.
唔係 OK 嘅，頭先 OK 嘅，起碼你唔係兩條友坐喺度同我講20萬年，不過睇下飛機都開心啊！咪想睇下 Geographic 咯。
Me ha encantado y no me lo podía perder. Es un evento único.
Why gaming? Just a passion. Son experiencias únicas. Me ofrecen algo que no encuentro en otro lado. Lo que te digo, es como una familia para mí.
Me ha parecido genial y un cierre para un evento así maravilloso.
Just the passion that people have. I feel very welcome.
點解唔入 X？ 因為我個 X 唔係因為我部電腦其實係1060咯，所以我入咩都冇所謂。
Games and we're here to talk about High on Life, our new action adventure comedy Metroidvania first-person shooter that is nothing at all, a little bit like Microsoft Excel.
All right, you're a bounty hunter now.
喂，唔好講呢隻得唔得啊？唔想睇呢隻啊！
That's our game, High on Life. Pretty insane. There's a lot to talk about.
Let's dive in. So Justin, you're typically known for working in animation. What brings you into the world of games? Why are you in the world of games?
Yeah. I'm obsessed with games. Have been my whole life. Always had ideas. Always had, things I would love to make. But just never thought I could ever step into that arena. because I
我真係相信佢會講嘅，其實因
I
為
lack all the skills needed.
我真係覺得佢會講卧龍。
Other than like creative direction, creative ideas, like other than that, I lack all the skills to execute.
But that's why, like, that's part of why you want to start Squanch, right? Is like to be able to have an idea like that and let it grow to something amazing.
And to be able to be creatively free. I wanted to make games that I wanted to play. And that was sort of the spark that just lit the fire of Squanch Games. And then
大家揾啲嘢做下先咯，
and we shipped to Counter
撳下電話
Plus,
先咯
and now we're on
轉下豬
this
先咯
absolutely
玩下手機 game 咯，唔
This
係
is
點
like our
啫？
real
有咩計啫，大佬？
legit swing at like a proper, you know, like we're indie, but like this is like our
我頂緊㗎啦，要踢翻工啊，大佬！
for indie.
我決定同公司講話，因為佢嗰個 game show 太廢，所以寫唔到。但係我因為琴日睇 game show，我喺公司工作，所以我要遲翻。
kidnap humans and start selling them on the black market like they're drugs. And you're the one human who has to team up with a talking gun and stop them.
And when you select a cartel leader that you're going to go after, like it opens the portal door to that world that they're in.
Eric, can you tell us a little bit about the worlds of the game, the art style of the game, the visuals?
Yeah. So we spent a lot of time kind of constructing and creating these awesome alien worlds. Myself and Mikey Spano, who is our art director, him and I worked like a ton on the sort of art direction of the game. He really kind of landed in this space, which was kind of Blade Runner meets the Muppets. So we're trying to capture that feeling with all of our characters, especially our aliens. And then each world is its own kind of unique flavor, right? I think some of the ideas came from.
知唔知16定17號 FF7 個週年 broadcast 會講咩？唔知，冇收到任何嘢，
And yeah, what makes me really
冇收到任何新聞稿。
really clear and like it's almost deceivingly simple narrative, right?
Save the Earth, humans or drugs, talking guns. Ta-da.
So Alec, who are the guns? What's their deal?
The guns are these talking alien Gatlians. They're all shaped somewhat like a gun you'd find on Earth, but they've evolved to be just gun-like in their own way. And so this race of Gatlians each has their own unique personality, their unique set of abilities, and you're going to be rescuing them from this evil alien cartel, and together, you got to stop the bad guys.
You get more Gatlians.
Yeah, collect more Gatlians.
Yeah, a lot of players are going to have very different experiences depending on what gun they favor.
Yeah, you kind of pick your favorite companion to have out a lot and hear their dialogue, be part of different dialogue scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Look at us, blasting away.
And sometimes you can unlock the guns in a different
到時
order.
望下咯，大家又一
So
齊。
when you go back through a level, you'll see things that you would have been able to access if you'd done it in the other order.
That's
You
so
can come back.
That's a huge one.
All right, so we've talked about this crazy good game that sounds amazing. Why should people be excited to play it?
As a studio, we are attempting to bring A-level adult comedy into video
試下
games.
唔好再
Something I
咁。
love about Squanch is we
試下完。
put a lot of effort into things that a lot of other studios wouldn't even bother with, like a single small joke that 5 players might find.
Well, okay. Well, now I can. I love that stuff. I love like edge casing and like
It's what makes you remember a game.
yeah, like if a player's trying to break the game in a certain way and then you have an answer for that for them.
哇！
It's like such a memorable,
屌你炸陳根記有呢個咩喎？炸芒果 pancake 喎，屌！
and poke a thing. And
好想試
the character
喎。
has to respond to that. And there's so much fun to be had for the
You can
most
skip
part.
it all. We worked really hard on it if you want to skip it.
Yeah, if you want to just like miss out on like, you know,
Yeah,
some
if you're
of
like
the
a big
coolest...
dummy and you don't want to play the game at all, that's fine. We're not going to judge you. We're just going to be upset.
嚟啦 ！Console launch exclusive Fallout 屌係咪啊？ 唔係喎，又唔係科嚟喎，恐怖 game 嚟喎。好耐了，但係好食到爆啊！睇下有冇機會去試下先。呢 呢個琴好似冇喎，呢隻恐怖 game， 好似見唔到喎。好肥啊，但係應該 Pentiment 係咪唔讀啊？唉，屌你老母！嗰隻我以為係出千嘅 game 呢隻係。
Pentiment is a narrative adventure game set in 16th century Bavaria.
應該好快啫，呢隻講就應該好快講完。
You play a character named Andreas Mahler, who is an artist working at a Benedictine abbey. He gets involved in a series of murders and scandals and tries to unravel them over a period of about 25 years. The name Pentiment, it is specifically referring to paintings in which there's an older painting underneath the painting that you see on the top. And if you scrape away the top layer, you see what was left behind. This has a bunch of significance. Obviously, you're playing a painter, but also it has a lot of significance to the idea of history kind of being covered and uncovered over time. When I saw narrative-driven games with really distinctive art styles, I was inspired to make a historical game that focused on the unique art style of the early modern period that was really driven by the relationships between characters and the stories that played out over time. Hannah Kennedy was really integral to defining the art style of Pentiment, especially blending the late medieval illuminated manuscripts with the early modern woodcuts.
Yeah, so there's a lot of major points to solve and kind of marry between wanting this to be a true to the history, true to the feel of the source material that we were referencing as far as the narrative, but also thinking about the types of games that were like what we imagined we wanted as far as a gameplay experience.
冇計嘅大佬，真係冇計。
From the beginning, I knew that I wanted to portray a community that changed over time, which meant that characters are changing over time. That's really the focus of everything. The buildings do change, but really it's the characters where you see all the crazy stuff happen.
大家都係瞓着。唔撚想睇呢啲啊！我唔係想睇呢啲啊！鳩我有新記招。
Baby's all grown up.
I think the 16th century has always been really interesting to me because it was a time of such social upheaval in Europe. I think when we look at social change in the past, it seems like it's a thing that always happens outside of our time. But right now, I think we're maybe more aware than ever that social change is happening constantly, and people are always struggling with it. It's always a difficult process. And so I hope that by looking at people from the past, we can see that even though the setting might be different and the specific issues might be different, ultimately we always struggle with social change. 睇下啲 crypto 算啦，懶啊！睇佢不如睇 crypto 啊我。AS Dark Fields 乜撚嘢 game 嚟㗎呢隻又？哦，嗰隻劇情 game 啊！嗰隻揀咩劇情，然之後睇古仔隻 game 啊！呢隻呢隻應該 OK 嘅，呢隻 OK 嘅，呢隻。
I'm gonna override this.
Is your life mission to cause harm?
This is my favorite shot of the whole.
呢啲係我哋呢排都好中意玩嘅 game。呢個 OK。但係佢嗰個做法係好似係一張一張圖咁樣，唔係好似一條片。你睇下佢後啲人嘅喐咧，好奇怪，我唔係好中意呢種畫，我唔係好中意呢種畫風喎，但係。
I took my inspiration from TV shows, prestige shows.
你有冇睇我哋之前玩嗰啲 game 先啊？即係我哋之前玩嗰啲真人 game 同埋啲嗰啲電影 game 先。
When you write for interactive stories, it's all about the stakes.
你玩嗰啲畫風係。我都麻麻地個畫風，好奇怪，我覺得咁樣睇戲。
But also you weave in the smaller stakes, the drama bit, like the relationships.
點睇加密貨幣？非投資建議，但係如果有閒錢嘅話，可能過多一排可以入手咁樣咯。
Mature themes that you don't normally find in a video game. It really gives you agency over characters that are relatable, that are familiar to you. It's like an interactive story, but with the power of video game behind it.
我遲啲玩咯，遲啲冇 game 玩嘅時候玩翻咯。
Now hold your horses, young man. I
我會玩啊，只要總之有時間先玩㗎，玩其他嘢嘛呢排。
It's mainly structured around a hostage situation.
中意底特律，我真係中意真人多啲。我而家
So it's a pressure cooker.
真人嘅呢啲互動 game 真係幾好，即係幾正，好似睇劇咁。而家最好嘅兩隻，我真係覺得，即係暫時我玩到而家，我覺得最好就係春世百年抄同埋 Late Shift 咯，我自己中意呢兩隻。
As Dusk Falls is an interactive show, but the important part here is the word interactive. The players are very much needed to help the character on their journey and decide what's going to happen to them, help them grow and change.
It's not like there's one golden path. There's so many different ways.
我唔係話呢啲 game 唔好玩啊，我係話呢啲 game 唔似 game 啊嗰陣時。
Different story and different ending, and you
搞錯咗啦。
achieving something and shaping the story.
我到而家都唔覺得嗰啲叫 game 㗎，都唔覺得啲似 game 嘅。我睇緊戲啫嘛嗰啲。
What would you do? I'll try to.
And at the end
我玩過喺度咯，玩
tell you
過。
about your playstyle, and it reveals something about the player themselves.
我從來都覺得呢啲唔叫 game 嘅，
the
係。
others that they played with.
I think for me, one of the really important things was that this.
因為玩呢啲嘅原因只係為睇戲嘅啫。
types of stories. We want to take really beautiful, sort of subtle facial performances, really strong dramatic moments, and just really represent that, such that every frame is a painting.
It's a single player and multiplayer experience, so 1 to 8 players.
Because we wanted to draw in people who weren't necessarily gamers. Gamers are going to love this game as well because it's a very mature, in-depth story. But this game really taps into your life skills rather than your gamer skills. Puts everyone on a level playing field.
下一道戲唔係話想玩日本嗰套先啊嘛，日本嗰隻先啊嘛，唔記得叫乜鬼嘢名啦。有冇人記得？
Discuss, you make decisions, and majority wins. It's like each player is.
我想玩日本嗰套先啊嘛。
Are you taking the money this time?
I am definitely not.
Take the cash. It's been a massive journey, and I can't believe we're just like so close, touching distance to this game. Yeah, I'm gonna miss it when it's done.
日本有一隻叫我唔記得叫乜鬼，要睇翻條片先。我記得我有嗰陣時條片係有講㗎。
Let's check out what mysteries,
喂，唔好咁啦，
adventures,
你試下唔使
and,
再
of
講㗎啦，
course,
完
slimes
啦，
are waiting for us in the new
完啦。
vibrant world of Slime Rancher 2.
Hello，大家好。
嗰隻叫做 Death Come True 啊，係啊 Death Come True 啊。 係 Death Come True 就應該會係下一隻玩嘅咯，如果冇意外嘅話。哇！屌 FPS 版模擬農場。用槍嚟做模擬農場，點解要咁做？點解乜鳩都要加槍？點解乜撚嘢都要同 FPS 掛鈎？真係好玩咩咁樣樣？我唔知夠唔夠驚，我哋知點解乜都要掛鈎槍啫。係咪真係鬼佬咁撚鍾情槍呢？係好出名。唉，真係冇興趣 ，sorry。咁唔係，我對槍本身有 bias 嘅我自己。 係啊 ，first personal shooting 啊呢啲叫。雖然佢都唔知可唔可以叫 shooting game。第三身就係你見到自己個人咯，第一身就係淨係見到把槍同隻手。出2啊，係啊2。
All right, time to get going. First trip in a while. Put this in here. Australia. Passport. I need a passport. Where's my passport? Passport. Ah. Oh. All right. Where's my Uber? All right, let's go. Let's go. Oh.
Welcome back to Melbourne. It is so great to be here in person. Get ready for the showcase.
唉，好開心啊！屌咩好笨啊呢個？屌人哋個個都係咁樣喺度睇記招，香港唔緊要，香港都係我陪你哋睇嘅，香港都係我陪你睇緊嘅，冇個咁嘅地方啫。哇！仲要即場抽獎啊！不如我哋又搞翻，我哋又叫 XBox 搞翻個香港咁嘅記招咯，好唔好？有冇人有興趣想 join 啊？如果香港搞一場咁樣樣，其實都幾開心啊！
We are so excited to tell you all about Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels, the first expansion for Forza Horizon 5. So, Mike, let's start with why the team decided to bring Hot Wheels to Forza Horizon 5's Mexico.
Our fans have been telling us for years about how much they loved Forza Horizon 3's Hot Wheels expansion. So we've been waiting for the right time to bring everyone another Hot Wheels adventure. Forza Horizon 5 presented the perfect opportunity to bring Hot Wheels to life like never before with the power of the Xbox Series X.
It
really does sound like the perfect time for Forza Horizon and Hot Wheels. So I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit more about what to expect being in the clouds of Mexico this time.
Yes, you travel to the clouds above Mexico to visit the Hot Wheels Park, which is comprised of over 200 kilometers of the fastest, most extreme tracks yet. Once there, you'll join the Hot Wheels Academy and set out to take on Forza Horizon's most extreme racing yet and prove yourself a Hot Wheels legend.
Let's go.
As well as the iconic orange Hot Wheels track, you'll take on new driving experiences.
其實我淨係諗緊等埋 Diablo 同埋等埋惡龍嘅啫。佢咁樣逐隻講，冇理由唔講 Diablo 同惡龍嘅噃。
Are we expecting something similar in Forza Horizon?
一定講嘅喎，係咪先？冇理由唔講㗎。
We're going to see the power of the Xbox Series X and S when we look at Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels all new biomes. The amount of detail and diversity that we can pack into the 4 new biomes is breathtaking. We have the rugged Giants Canyon, where you'll hear the growl of your engine bouncing back off the intricately detailed rock formations. The Ice Cauldron, where frozen...
師傅星期五玩唔玩忍者龜啊？
In Forest Falls, you'll see a tree canopy towering over epic waterfalls. And finally, the visually stunning and exhilarating Horizon Next.
永遠無間有新嘢講添，直頭係佢有雙刀嘛。
Web of Hot Wheels tracks. And there's more, because new
我星期五玩隻龜喎，你裝唔裝啊？定係你星期4自己玩啊？
during the main game's initial experience.
And how are people going to be able to use Event Lab in Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels?
So in Event Lab, you'll have the freedom to design, build and share using the new Hot Wheels Creation Kit. That's over 80 new track and stunt pieces that instantly snap together thanks to our new building tools. You can then share your creations with the entire community for players to discover and play. We are anticipating our community building an ever-evolving catalogue of new player-created Hot Wheels events that everyone will enjoy.
Hot Wheels 車係啊，因為佢係跟crossover 咗嘛。佢哋之前話原來上一集都有㗎啦，都唔係今集專登做。
10 new amazing cars coming to the pack, including 4 new Hot Wheels cars, which have been scaled up to real-life proportions. We have the Diora 2, the Bad to the Blade, the Baja Bone Shaker.
開始安慰自己佢會講，唔係你，我覺得佢真係會講嘅咧。如果唔係我嘥成個鐘都聽佢廢噏㗎啦，應該會講嘅。咁你裝我星期五先玩咯，可以6人連線喎，好似。好撚混亂嘅畫面應該。
Forza Horizon 5 fans naturally love co-op, so how is that continuing in Hot Wheels?
So, in a first for Forza, you can join up with your friends and play from the very start of the experience in co-op. You and your friends will then take on a new campaign, moving your way up through faster and faster car classes until you unlock the extreme speed of X-Class and become a Hot Wheels legend. You can also choose to take on the world in Horizon Open or team up with your friends to take on a team of drivatars in the Horizon Tour.
Ooh, I absolutely love that. Final question now, though. When can we expect to play?
Yes, so Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels releases on July 19th on Xbox,
July 19th.
Xbox One, Windows PC, and Steam.
Mike, thank you so much for joining me. This has been so much fun, and I cannot wait to play.
我真係睇唔出你有幾 cannot wait for pay 喎，我記唔到你嘅興奮啊！喂，唔好 Fall Guys 啦，唔睇啊！其實 Xbox 同埋 PC 玩 Xbox game 有咩分別？冇乜特別分別，其實真係冇乜特別分別。個 Game Pass 一個貴啲，又平啲咯。Xbox Game Pass 貴啲噶嘛，59蚊啫嘛。跟住 PC 嘅 Game Pass 29嘅啫嘛。咁當然啦，Ultimate 即係10蚊啦。喂，佢下一隻 game 係咩啊？你睇唔睇到啊？佢話下一隻 game 係講乜嘢啊？我睇唔到啊！佢啱好鬼鼠咁彈咗出嚟啊！唔係就係乜嘢 coming up 啊？就係我睇冇乜嘢 coming up 啊！我屌啊都 OK 嘅 Minecraft Legend 都想望下嘅，都想望一望。所有 game PC 都有，唔一定，除非不過大部分都有嘅啦，其實大部分都係 PC 同埋 Xbox 兩個都係同步嘅應該。好少可係有 PC 冇 Xbox， 或者冇 Xbox 冇嘢有 PC 嘅，好少。
I'm here with Dennis Reeves from Mojang Studios, who has just released the world premiere trailer of
Mojang Studio.
So happy to have you. I mean, this is a really exciting time for the team. Let's talk Minecraft as a whole, though. That game
Minecraft,
doesn't back this up, but I feel like everyone on the planet's played Minecraft at this point. But that wasn't enough for you all. You all went and made
見到呢個黑人就知要講好耐喎。
Recently revealed Minecraft Legends. So one, tell me a little bit about what it means for the team to actually be able to reveal the game, and then two, just let us know what Minecraft Legends is.
Well, we are so excited to finally be able to talk about this game with the world. We've been working on this game for some time now. Minecraft Legends is an action strategy game is set in the Minecraft universe. And in order to build this, we really wanted to partner with a great company that understands strategy games. And so that's when we reached out with Blackbird Interactive.
其實呢隻 game 係好 sandbox 嘅。你喺 Minecraft 嘅 server 變咗一隻 game 啊嘛，好 sandbox 啊呢件事。
Welcoming for people who may have not played Minecraft, but also people who have. And I mean, you've seen the trailer. It's about going and traveling through these beautiful biomes, exploring this world that is familiar yet still mysterious. And so as you explore these lush biomes, you collect resources, and then you use those resources.
嗱，如果你問我嘅話，你有錢同埋有時間又揾到就一步到位啦 ，X 係好啲嘅。如果你部電腦本身都勁嘅話，就唔好買咩啦，就唔好買 S 啦。
You know what? You're going to probably want to build some alliances with some unexpected friends because they're going to help
譬如我部電腦
actually
咁渣
defeat
咪
the
冇乜所
villains
謂
and
咯。
send them back to where they come from.
I'm looking forward to it.
Game Pass 兩邊 game list 唔係一樣，但係大致上都係相同嘅，係有啲唔同嘅，即係譬如 AOE 咁，你咪新嗰隻係有電腦 PC Game Pass 咯，但係冇 Xbox Game Pass 咯，但係大致上係一樣嘅。
Well, really, it was many years ago, as a group of folks at Mojang sitting around talking about what game genres they really enjoy, and action and strategy were the most popular ones that came up. And so we started to think about who we could partner with to build that experience, and that's where we came into Blackbird Interactive, and that was back in 2018. And the project was codenamed Badger. And an interesting little fact for many of those people that might follow Minecraft, if you go back to Minecon 2018 and you look at the shirt that Jens Berenstain was wearing, you'll see a graphic on there, and it's in the shape of a badger head. And really, that was meant to be an Easter egg for years forward, which here we are now.
I gotta say, I love a good Easter egg. Now, where would you say that Minecraft Legends fits in the overall Minecraft universe?
Well, the Minecraft universe is just always growing and expanding. And if it's not from our partner communities, then it's from Mojang specifically. Like you mentioned, Minecraft
呢隻幾得意嘅，不過呢隻我都真係想玩嘅呢隻。
We built this dungeon crawler experience in the Minecraft universe, and players love it.
Adventure game 啫，因
And
為
with Minecraft
唔係好
Legends, we're
Minecraft。
trying to do something similar, really. And here we're going to be introducing a narratively driven campaign.
我唔會阻止人浪費金錢去買嘢嘅喎。同埋我覺得，就算係電腦打開機都唔一定係唔買 Xbox 嘅。即係好多 game 你 PC 同埋 PlayStation 都會有嘅。但係如果你俾我揀嘅話，我都會揀 PlayStation 行先咯。即如果係兩邊揀有得揀嘅話。
Follow us, Twitter.
不過而家有得揀就會揀 Xbox 行先咯。啲單機 game 嘅話，
so excited to jump into Minecraft Legends. Thank you so much for stopping by and giving us the lowdown.
連線 game 咪再諗，有 Game Pass 免費一定係 Game Pass 行先。
What up, everybody? It's your boy Kirsten, aka K Von Doom, and we're here at XBox Fan Fest. We got a whole lot for y'all to check out.
佢原來都搞得幾大喎！呢單嘢係，佢係搞 Fan Fest 係各地都有做呢啲活動喎。但係以我所知，香港咧 Xbox 係，但應該係高部有落，即係 headquarter 係有落咗話唔俾搞event嘅喎。點解呢單可以搞到咁大型嘅咧？
They asked me what year Halo came out, won this sweet jersey. I couldn't believe when I was here on site that I would get to meet the real Master Chief.
Experience here, out of this world. It was really cool to see. I'm gonna go get my nails done.
PC 本身用緊 Xbox Game Pass 真係幾香，我哋已經推介咗好多年嘅啦。等你哋成日都話我打手賣廣告嘅。講啲好嘢俾你知又唔聽唔信。
What a day we had today. Thank you everybody for showing up to Xbox Fan Fest Toronto. Had a lot of fun. Saw a lot of
香港有冇搞過咧 Xbox Fan Fest？ 好似搞過1年咯，我知嘅話喺 D2 Place 啊嘛。嗰年仲要係搞3場嘅，佢頭場咧係俾啲分銷商啊，即係嗰啲 game 鋪啊或者啲代理商去做嘅。跟住第2場就俾記者，第3場就到 fans。嗰隻係咩波啊？下一隻係，下一隻咩嚟㗎？下一隻咩嚟㗎？唔係啩？似真係冇卧龍喎，但係。似真係冇喎，已經播緊呢啲咁嘅精華片嘞喎。個半鐘啊，冚家鏟我哋睇咗，佢播呢啲真係完㗎咯喎。
I'm joined now by Sarah Bond, who leads the gaming ecosystem organization here at Xbox. Sarah, it's so great to have you.
It is awesome to be here and so good to see you too.
Yes, I'm super excited for this conversation because as we know, game creators are crucial to Xbox's success. And whenever you talk about them, it's with such passion and tenacity. I love it. And it sounds super important to you and the rest of Team Xbox. So my question to you is, how do creators inspire the work that you and your team do?
有時係要學識一樣嘢叫止蝕
Creators are just
嘅
the。bedrock of everything we do on my team. You know, when you really think about it, where gaming really comes from is it starts with someone who has a creative idea
我覺
that
得
they choose to
人
put
係要
into a
止蝕
game
嘅
that。we all get to experience and enjoy. And that's really the bedrock of our industry, of what motivates us, is to help those people, those developers, bring their
我
stories
睇下大家嘅
out.
意見先。
We think about it in three ways. You know, how do we create a vibrant and engaging gamer community for
你
them
覺
to come
得
to? through
今晚有
What are the set
冇
of tools and services that we give them to make
龍
it easier and faster and more affordable for them to make a game? And how do we create a range of business models that they can use? Because a business model really enables them to perform all sorts of different types of innovation.
Yeah, business models, tools, resources, all these provide choices, and it's increasing these choices for not only the developers, but the players themselves as well.
Yeah.
For example, you and your team just
但係
announced a
止
new
蝕
feature
真係
that's
緊
gonna
要
bring
喎
game demos to players. Can you tell us a little bit more about Project Moorcroft?
Project Moorcroft. I know. I love these project names. I wish they would just let me name it, but
Yeah,
they
just
won't.
say it.
I know.
No.
They won't.
Can we change that?
Well, look, we were sitting around as a team and we were thinking about some of the things that we've always loved the most about the gaming industry. And one of them was, remember when you would go to like
五隻都係
PAX or E3, and you would go to the show floor and you get to play a demo or a piece of the game, and the developer
想
will
止
be
蝕
right there
喎
next to you, talking to you about their experience, asking you to try things out, asking you your feedback. And that was one of the things I loved the most about those experiences. We just don't have them as much anymore, you know, in the way that the world has evolved.
俾埋呢個機會啦，好冇？開埋下一隻，唔係卧龍嘅就收
Use
皮
the。power of GamePass and all of the great discovery and player
Last.
engagement that is in it.
見
And
last.
have it create for creators that opportunity to engage with fans early as they're creating their game, and also for players to get to experience
都唔係啊，永
something
劫
that
無
they're
間咪
really
幾好睇
interested
咯
in. And so that's what we're going to do. We're actually
永
have a
劫無
program that enables
間
developers to take a piece
都真係
of
幾好
level of
睇
their game,
，23號都想
put it
玩。
into GamePass so that they
我
can
想玩
get that
上
great
道。
feedback and players can engage with them. And we know it's a lot of work
招話唔係好啱
sometimes
玩
for
嘛呢隻我記
developers
得
to do that.
嗰
So
陣時
we're
話
also going to compensate them for their participation in the program. I'm so excited for what's going to come when we launch that.
I think the one thing that we all miss is that connection, right?
Connection,
now that we're able
right.
to come back into conferences and stuff like that, we still need to deepen it because
Yeah.
by deepening that connection, you're diversifying the voices, and then that in return helps to diversify the games and bring diversity into games. So,
Completely.
how will Microsoft help to further that front?
Yeah, we think about it all the time, frankly, as Microsoft, as Xbox, in my team in particular, because creators is core to everything we do. You know, if you think about a game, it enables
呢
you
啲 game 分
to
明就係壓軸。
experience a perspective, a point of view, in a way that is deep and immersive, unlike any other form of media. So the importance of everyone
哎呀係喎，仲
equal
有隻 Sea of
opportunity to
Sea of
share their
Two 未？
stories
嗰隻
and their
Sea of
perspective through a
Tooth
game,
啊，
and what it means
佢未
to
show
deepen
嘅
our
喎。
perceptions, to what we talk about, to what we believe, to broadening our perspectives is critical. And we think about that all the time. So what we've done as a team is we're continuing to expand the set of developers who we're engaging with and bringing them into the Xbox ecosystem. We've actually more than doubled the number of developers that are making games for Xbox. And we saw lots of those games in the last
我哋
day,
有
which has been
好
pretty
多好
cool.
多人，好
And the
撚
other
勁
thing
嘅
that we
團
did this
隊
year，is
好
for
撚
the
勁嘅
first
機
time ever,
能。
we actually have a presence in Africa. We have our first Xbox employee in Africa, specifically dedicated to working with creators in the region.
So, what message would you like to leave for creators who are interested in starting in the industry?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. People
我
say
會
to me,
揀我
"Would
瞓
you
覺
really
唔
like to
睇，
get to be
聽日
part
睇
of the
重
gaming
播啊，
industry?
俊
I'd
謙。
love to make a game. How do I break through? How do I get involved? I say, first of all, network. Talk to people, meet people, connect with people, just how you and I connected actually at an industry event, which we met at, which was super fun. You know, build that network and that connectivity because it's so critical in every industry, but I think
講
particularly in
經咩？
gaming,
標咩
right?
fit
You know, go to
標乜
industry
鬼嘢
conferences like
community 啊？玩
GDC,
Xbox
meet
溝唔到
people,
女嘅。
learn, try
啱唔
that
啱
out. And if you're interested in
對唔對啊？
making a game for Xbox, you can actually go to github.com. You can actually download the Xbox Game Developer Kit and get started. And once you have a game concept, you can also submit it online through ID@xbox.com, and then you can self-publish to Xbox, which is another
我好想
great
做
way.
嘢 game 我
And
自己
of
突然
course,
之間。
if you actually want to get involved in the industry, all companies are
最
great,
近唔
but
知
I
點解好想
highly
做
recommend
game。
you check out coming to work at Xbox. I'm biased, obviously.
I mean, hey, you have every right to.
瞓啊冇。
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today. And also, thank you to all the viewers for tuning into Extended. We've heard from so many amazing developers on today's show. Now, before we finish, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
We were talking earlier
嚇唔係啊！我
about the
想做
importance
game 唔使
of
自己寫
people
嘅
being
喎，
able
你
to
邊
tell
一
their
條做 game 要
story
自己
through a
寫
game
啊
and how incredibly powerful it is.
？idea
And
嘅啫
when we were talking
嘛
about that,
，game
I was
design 同
thinking
programmer
about
係
an
兩個人
experience
嚟
we've had as a
㗎。
team that's been
game
very
design、
touching for me.
graphic design 同埋
So, you know,
programmer
a
係
couple
三
years
個人嚟
ago, we
㗎。
started really consciously extending the depth and breadth of content that we have in the Xbox ecosystem. And it was through that that I got to know the team making Stalker 2 really well. And I actually got to intro that game last year in the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was just incredible. And you know, the thing was, when I was looking at that game last year, and I was looking at the story
呢段訪問講啲咩？就係講緊我哋 Xbox 而家好偉大啊！揾咗好多唔同嘅 studio 翻嚟做嘢啊！佢 game 嘅整嘅人數有之前嘅2倍啊，所以好多新嘅 game 啊，好多唔同嘅嘢啊！我哋好專注大家玩家 community 啊！如果你有做 game 嘅 idea， 你可以去 send 去呢個 ID@xbox.com 啊，諸如此類。
to the world just feels entirely different and far more poignant and visceral to me. You know, this is a team who's talking about their culture, talking about fighting for the existence of being a nation, of being a people, of having their own language. And now we all, as a world, have gotten to see how tenuous that in fact is. And it's an honor, frankly, to be part of this industry and to have the opportunity to uplift their voices and to let their story be told through a gaming experience, especially knowing what we know now about the situation in Ukraine. And as part of that, they actually shared with us something that they wanted us to share with all of you today as part of the show.
Yes.
唉，屌！
Здесь кипела работа, идеи, она не останавливалась. 3 месяца назад началась война России с Украиной.
Шок от рабочий день начинается с тревоги.
呢條應該好快，呢條應該好快，呢條應該好快。
Це переноска для мого кота, який загинув ще в перший тиждень війни. Ходишь вечером, сирена, выходишь днем, сирена. Днем еще работать надо, поэтому особо не выйдешь, а вечером все время вот так.
Це моє робоче місце.
Вже 3-й місяць я живу і працюю в коридорі. Зі мною живе одноокий пес, врятований з-під обстрілу в Гостомелі. Зараз мені важко писати,
因為我撳緊電話啦，我已經。
коли вона йде навколо.
Так работает в перерывах между сиренами і волонтерськими задачами.
Світ ще побачить, наскільки в нас класна культура, і в тому числі, наскільки класні ігри ми можемо робити.
Меня зовут Александр. Я являюсь сотрудником компании ЖСК. Я с Мариуполя. С начала боевых действий была потеряна связь с моими родными и близкими. И это непередаваемое ужасное чувство, когда ты не знаешь, живы они или нет.
應該係你講緊 Forza 嗰個係嘛
Ніколи не міг уявити.
四驅車嗰個詞。
В центрі Європи може статися повномасштабна війна.
Я Олексій Іванов, ком'юніті-менеджер проекту Stalker 2. Зі зброєю в руках захищаю свою країну від російської агресії.
Привіт, я Макс, наративний дизайнер гри Stalker 2. Після перемоги я до неї повернуся.
Побачимось на релізі. Слава Україні!
話說 YouTube 評論區死咗，唔明咩叫評論區死啊？Diablo 唔係喎。
Last question, Dr. Dallin. Are you sure the perimeter surrounding the zone is really enough? If a powerful emission were to occur, we would listen.
我係咩
The zone
？sorry
has
啊。
remained stable for years. Besides, we didn't establish the most advanced institution in human history without first guaranteeing its safety. As the head of the Scientific Institute for Research of the Chernobyl area, or CERC for short, I believe the wonders that we will bring to the world
我邊咁多樹啊嘛。
How big are these risks exactly?
The zone reveals a whole new world. We can stick with the old one, fearing change. But tell me,
你好啊，聰。
do you want our descendants to remember us as cowards? Or as those who dared
佢頭先架車未出嚟嘅，屌！
better humanity?
呢隻有乜鳩嚟㗎？試下唔好咁。Stranger Things。等唔到啦，就快收皮㗎啦，真係等唔到啦，就快。唔知咩嚟嘅。佢仲有介紹 game， 仲有希望。A Perfect Data 中國公司，哦，你講佢，多謝，恭喜大家捱到最後，耶！恭喜大家浪費1個小時38分鐘。我哋一齊瞓覺啦，同大家講句晚安，垃圾，死性不改，不思進取，唔長進，屌你個老味，唔好撚講啦，無端端仲有乜鬼嘢 showcase，show 你老味咩 showcase？我想問下一次係仲有邊個啊？任天堂係幾時啊？有冇啊？同埋 Square 係咪仲有一個啊 ？FF7 啊嘛係嘛？FF 仲有一個嘛？任天堂有冇啊？任天堂 Direct CEO 嗰下就要收台，第一個兩個人開拖嗰下啊，佢兩個人出嚟講嘢就應該要走啦，已經知道今日已經唔係我哋要睇嘅嘢啦。任天堂 Direct 2022。有冇呢？老任好似冇啊！唉，咁算啦，留意 Facebook 啦，詳情大家 或者留意每日睇台嘅時候再同大家講睇唔睇啦。係咁，中意朋友記得同埋 like 立撚霎嘅記招，我哋聽日直播再見。聽日直播可能睇應該見嘅。好啦，聽晚再算。係咁，拜拜 ，peace。